Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we are going to fly the Airbus A340-300 once again. And we're going to take it from Frankfurt to Hong Kong, a route that they used to fly a lot during their years with Lufthansa. So, due to the current political conditions, namely the closure of the Russian airspace for pretty much any Western airline, we are going to have a rather southerly routing with a total flight time of approximately 11 hours and 20 minutes. Now, we've just boarded our aircraft through the fore left door, which is how the real Lufthansa crews would be boarding their planes, and we are making our way up to the flight deck over here. Now, at this point, I would quickly like to thank the developers of all these airports, Aerosoft for Frankfurt, Builds for Hong Kong, and obviously Builds for the Airbus A340 for the copies of their aircraft. Without them, it would be really difficult and most importantly really expensive to be able to show you all of these things in action on a channel like this. So thank you very much to those developers, and also thanks to today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI, for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that is not just capable of your standard IFR A to B flights, but also other things like VFR, data link, and even a cabin crew simulation, then Say Intentions may just about be for you. Check them out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. And with all of that said, welcome to the flight deck of the A340. Let's take a seat over here and start getting ready for today's service. So it's currently 1917, our scheduled off-block time is 1940, so I'd say that's just about right to start getting ready. And in order not to lose any time over here, we are going to get right into this and start by importing our flight plan from SimBrief, and then we can have a very quick look at today's plan before we go into the cockpit preparation. So, as mentioned, rather southerly route today, heading across the Balkans, the Black Sea, etc., all the way over to Hong Kong. Our significant weather chart is quite clear for the first half of the flight, and only then, once we are entering Chinese airspace, we are facing some turbulence. Now this one is severe turbulence up to flight level 340, so we'll plan to be above that level at this point in the flight. Then we are following those jet streams all the way down, and well, those are probably going to come with a little bit of turbulence here into Hong Kong. Now for our airport weather, things are looking quite a bit better today. Let's go ahead and have a look. We are departing Frankfurt in cavalcade conditions, probably on runway 07. Then the arrival in Hong Kong has absolutely beautiful weather, and our alternate in Guangzhou is very good as well. With that in mind, let's have a look at our flight plan. We are the Lufthansa 796 departing Frankfurt at 1940, heading over to Hong Kong, where we are going to arrive half an hour ahead of schedule. Our takeoff weight roughly 250 tons today, and we got quite the good average tailwind, which is also the reason why we've got such a short flight time. Now, starting in flight level 330, then we got 35, and later on even 37, but that's going to be in meters when we are inside China. Okay, so then let's have a look into our fuel plan. So, summarizing, we've got no significant weather that might make us fly low. We got no significant delays that would make us fly fast. So, looking into this, 77 tons is our planned takeoff fuel plus taxi. Let's round it up and make it 78 tons of fuel. So, going into the payload and fuel dialog, let's go ahead and import all from SimBrief. And then we can just have a look into our fuel down here. Going to increase that to 78 tons like this, and then we can instantly load the fuel, instantly load the payload, and with all of that done, let's head over into our GSX menu and request our boarding down here as well. Okay, perfect. With that, we have done everything down here, so let's go ahead and start with our normal pre-flight procedures. So the engine master levers are off, start selector norm, the weather radar is switched off, landing gear lever is down, wipers are off, and the battery voltage is greater than 25.5 on all three batteries. Power is on, and then we can go ahead up here and do the APU fire test, which is looking good. Make sure that we got the radios selected, so we're going to use 122035. VHF 1, make sure we listen to that, same for VHF 2 and for the interphone, and we also make sure that the speaker is actually turned up, and the same on the other hand side as well. Beautiful. Okay, then let's go right back to the overhead panel and turn on our ADIOS 1, 2 and 3. It's 16 degrees over here, so we don't need the APU just yet, so we can save a little bit of fuel there. Okay, then we can move right back down into the electronic flight bag and finish everything up over here. My important point earlier was that I really wanted our boarding to get going, so that we are not wasting any time later on in the procedures. So those charts are on board, then we do need a SID chart, and we are departing via... Oh god. Here we go. Departing via the Zulus 4 Delta departure, runway 07. So let's go ahead and find that. SIDS, runway 07, that's Romeo and Echo, 07 Echo, and 07 Delta procedures. Here we go. That's the one. Let's pin this. And we can also just select the night charts over here. Like this. Now it does say Delta procedures, but for some reason the ones that we're looking for is not on there. Come on. Load those charts, please. Not this one. Maybe hidden somewhere down here. It's so much easier in the real world. In the real world, in the Lido app, you simply select the procedures you want by name, and that's it. But here we go, Zulus 4 Delta, there it is. So runway 07 left right procedures Delta North. Okay, I can remember that. And now let's do the same thing for the SID PTs. So just searching for that same name. And here it is. Okay, perfect. With that we got all our charts on board. Then let's head down into our FMS real quick and have a look. A340-300, CFM56, nav database is up to date at the time of the recording. Then we can go down into the ATSU and the AOC menu, flight init, and we can do our data request down here. Like that. Okay, so, technically speaking, I want to request the ATIS, and I think that's hidden in the CPDLC in the ini-built Airbus. Yep, there it is. ATIS. Frankfurt departure. And we're looking for the Say Intentions AI ATIS. And in order to be able to send that, we need to request our flight plan in here. That's a little bug. In the real world, you can do that before the flight plan has been uplinked. And in the real world, when you press initialize data, then it uplinks automatically. So, should be able to do that, but okay. So, ATIS, and we need Frankfurt. Send that, please. And here it is, Frankfurt, Information Quebec, and we've got departing runway 07 center, 08088, clear sky, 16 degrees, QNH 1021, transition level 60. Okay, so QNH 1021. Like this. Alright, then we know which runway we are going to be departing from, so let's get that weather, let's get that takeoff performance. Frankfurt, 7 center, 13,000 meters. Probably not. No, it's 3,100 meters, because we will be using Lima 17, since the others are closed at the moment. Okay, dry, synchronize the weather, and for our takeoff weight we take 250 tons. Just to be safe, flaps 2, air conditioning off, anti-ice off, calculate. and that is looking fantastic. Max takeoff weight is far below or far above the estimated, so with that we are good to go. Okay, lovely. So we have all that stuff done. Then let's go ahead and start getting that rest of the pre-flight procedure finished. The oxygen pressure is checked. The hydraulic quantities are looking good. The engine oil quantities are full. That is perfect. Flaps are up, and that agrees with the lever. Spoilers retracted is looking good. Then we can release that parking brake and test our alternate brakes, which are looking fantastic. And the parking brake is set again. Okay, lovely. So we are done with all that stuff. We do have a couple of company messages. Let's have a look at those. AOC menu, received messages. Oh yeah, that's a lot of stuff. So let's start. That's an old load sheet. Then we've got a weather, and that is the one that we uplinked. Then we have a later load sheet, preliminary edition 1, another weather, and come on, go back, and another load sheet, and that is the final version. Okay, that seems to be looking good. 3 pilots, 10 cabin crew, that looks correct, and all those weights are looking good as well. Alright, we can't accept this just yet, but good to know that we have it already. Very nice. Then we are done down here. Then we are basically done with everything, so we can start with the pre-flight procedure, and at the same time you can go out for the walk around, please. Oh well, we do have a third pilot on board, so it's probably going to be him going out. Let's also get a little bit of the lights up down there. So down here we are doing the standard stuff that we know from any Airbus already. So batteries are charging just fine, perfect. Refueling is also complete, so let's turn those pumps on. Engine fire test is looking good, and the right hand side is also looking good. Okay, so interesting, they added some sounds to this. That was nice. Okay, we'll actually set the clock to internal, because we are flying through some anticipated GPS jamming areas today. Right hand side is all tracked. Down here everything is set. Weather and turbulence, and you can give me a little bit of tilt above, please. The right hand side is looking good. Alright, then we are going to get right into the FMS setup. So let's see what we got down there. We're going from Frankfurt to Hong Kong, alternate Guangzhou, Lufthansa 796, Cosmetics 30, flight level 330. That's good. Departure, runway 07 center, and we'll get the Zulus for Delta departure, which is this one, insert. And now for Hong Kong, we are looking at runway 07 left, I guess. And we got the Sierra 7 Alpha arrival. And we can take the Leams transition. Okay, insert. Then let's go ahead and add our emergency waypoint here. And we can just delete any of those previous ones, please. Thank you. So, Frankfurt X1 on 07 center, which is based on Frankfurt 07 center / 066 and 25 miles. So PBD point is created. Then let's go to the secondary, copy active, and we call it Frax1. Like this, including a holding over there, and that's going to be 066, right turn, 1 minute lag time. Insert, and then we are going to return to Frankfurt for an ILS approach runway 07 right, which is the longest runway available down here. Okay, so this is looking quite good. Then let's go on with our flight plan. And we are departing Frankfurt 07 center. 066 is the runway track, and Frax 1 is the emergency waypoint. That is good. Then let's go ahead and fill in our step altitudes. So that's level 350 at Fallas, and that has been in already uplinked. And then we got Kamut 371, which is basically the entry into Chinese airspace combined with a step climb. Okay, that's looking fantastic. We can keep all of those. Then let's go ahead and do a wind data request, and with this done we can move on to the performance initialization. Now, for that performance we can just grab the final load sheet that we have received over here. And here it is, so it's 171.0 and 27.6. Like that. Fuel in tanks 78. Wind is uplinked, and then let's go back down here. So alternate 3.9, reserves 2.1, and final 2.6. Okay, for some reason it's telling us that we're arriving with minus 4.6, but I don't really believe that. In fuel 78 is correct. The weights are looking good. Yeah, it's probably not calculating the winds properly. That's my guess. Anyway. Just to be sure, we actually have those 78, and that is correct. Beautiful. Okay, so for the takeoff performance, config 2, flex 40. And that's a takeoff shift of 900 meters. And our takeoff speeds are 139, 145, 163. Noise abatement procedure 2, engine out acceleration 1500 above the ground, and derated climb 2. And finally Frankfurt 07 center. Here we go. So cruising 330, optimum 320, maximum 351, that is perfect. And then we can go ahead and confirm our departure route. So here's the charts. Then let's have a look at this. So plan mode, here we go. So straight at departure end of runway, and thereafter Delta Fox 149er with a maximum of 220 knots. That's this one. Right hand turn, Delta Fox 151, Delta Fox 167 above level 60, and here's 151, 167 above level 60, and then we continue via 175 above 110, Comip and Zulus. And we got 115, 110, Comip and Zulus. Okay, so that's all looking good. We can also accept that load sheet down here, and then ensure the flight directors are on. Initial climb clearance, probably 5,000. We'll verify with ATC, and all the rest is set. Lovely. Ground from cockpit. Mind your ears, oxygen test. Yeah, however realistic you want to call this. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Alright, good. So we are basically done with our setup work, so let's go ahead and go right into the departure briefing. So that's for you. We're departing Frankfurt, runway 07 center, or Zulus 4 Delta departure, climbing 5000, MSA 4300. Extra fuel and time, yeah, we'll see, But we do have what we are supposed to have. So our taxi has pretty much no hotspots. Lima 17 intersection for the departure, stop margin, probably just 1 meter or something, so we're a little go-minded over here. If we are stopping, then probably hot brakes, so I'd like to ask you to call for the fire brigade straight away. And if we continue, the engine outset is 25 miles straight ahead to the Frankfurt X-ray 1 point, which is over here. Climbing 4,000 is going to keep us safe as well. The high MSA is really just in the north over here, but nonetheless 5,000 just to make it legal. If we return, then we're above the maximum landing weight, so we do the overweight landing procedure, but we can return over here with an ILS onto runway 07 right if needed. I've got nothing special, I've got nothing non-standard. Do you see any threats for today's departure? No, I like it. And miscellaneous, we do have the 220 knot restriction over Delta Fox 149. And looking at this, clean speed is 264, so we are going to keep flaps 1 for that restriction. Okay, and then we need to ask ATC whether we are allowed to exceed 250 anyway. Do you have any questions there? Nope. Lovely, then that's our briefing completed. So let's go ahead and request our IFR clearance. So, departure requests. Let's see, we have ATIS information Quebec. We're at Bravo 25, rather obvious. And the station will be Frankfurt. And we'll just say hello. Okay, Lufthansa 796, Airbus 340-300, Frankfurt, Hong Kong gate 25, ATIS Quebec. That's looking good. So let's transfer that, and that's all looking good. Send that clearance request, please. Alright. So we're basically done. Supposed to go off block in 3 minutes. What's our boarding doing? Seems complete, doesn't it? Okay, that is good. Then I'm just wondering why they aren't closing the doors, but okay. Whoever cares. Let's just do something about
Ladies
it.
and gentlemen, welcome aboard Lufthansa flight
And
796,
start that APU.
departing from Frankfurt and heading to
Alright,
Hong Kong. Please
and
take your seats
that's
according to your
pretty
boarding
much
passes, stow your
it
hand
for
luggage in the
now.
overhead bins
Cockpit
or
preparation
under the seats in front of
checklist.
you.
Gear pins and
If you need
covers,
any
remove.
assistance, feel free to
Fuel
reach out to any member of our
quantity,
crew.
78,000 kilos
today.
balanced, seatbelts on, adios. Nav and Baroref QNH 1021. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Abend aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel und im Namen der Lufthansa darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unseres Airbus A340-300 auf unserem gemeinsamen Flug nach Hongkong willkommen heißen. Wir erwarten heute einen weitestgehend ruhigen Flug in der ersten Hälfte. In der zweiten Hälfte des Fluges könnte es zu einigen leichten Turbulenzen aufgrund eines starken Rückenwindes kommen, was allerdings auch bedeutet, dass wir eine halbe Stunde vor der geplanten Ankunftszeit in Hongkong ankommen werden. Wir bedanken uns schon einmal ganz herzlich, dass Sie heute unsere Gäste sind. Lehnen Sie sich jetzt zurück und genießen Sie den Flug mit uns. Und wir melden uns dann im Anflug mit den neuesten Wetterinformationen bei Ihnen. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel, and in the name of Lufthansa, I would like to welcome you all on board of our Airbus A340-300 on our flight to Hong Kong. Today's flight time is going to be a short 11 hours, 15 minutes. And that is because of the weather that we are going to face en route. For the first half of our flight we will have smooth sailing, but the second half of our flight may be a little bit turbulent due to some very strong tailwinds that are going to push us towards Hong Kong in order to enable an arrival half an hour before schedule. For the time being, sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Now, we are just finishing up the last paperwork, and as soon as that is done, we will start our engines and make our way towards Hong Kong. Thank you for your attention, thank you for being on board. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and we'll get back to you with the latest weather when we start the approach in Hong Kong. So here's our clearance, stand by, and here it is. So, cleared to Hong Kong via Zulus 4 Delta departure, confirmed. Maintain 7,000. And that is now set. Departure 118505, squawk 6341, expect runway 07 center. The runway is confirmed and 6341. Like that. Okay, Wilco sent. Our load sheet is already on board and completed. Then we can go ahead and prepare the position for pushback and departure. Ground flight deck, you can disconnect the external power and let us know as soon as you are ready down there, please. So, doors are armed and ground power removed, trucks removed. Then let's go ahead and call ground for the pushback clearance. Yeah, I think that is it. In the real world it would be 121.855, but St. Intentions is using slightly different frequencies there. Frankfurt ground, guten Abend, Lufthansa 796 heavy, request pushback and startup.
Lufthansa 796 pushback and startup approved, face southwest.
Pushback and startup approved, facing southwest, Lufthansa 796 heavy. Okay, so before start checklists. Park and brake set, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 139, VR 145, V2 163, flex 40, windows closed, beacon on, before start checklist complete. So, ground flight deck, pushback and startup approved, facing southwest, and the park and brake is set. Roger, so we make that area number 2, please release your park and brake. Park and brake released, clear to push, and you let us know when we can start the engines, please. Roger. Okay, that thing is closed, and then there is one last thing that I just noticed during the checklist, and that's down here, take zero fuel weight CG 27.6, and that gives us 4.9 units trim.
Arm doors and cross-check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Lufthansa Flight 796 heading to Hong Kong.
Okay, here we go.
Flight time is approximately 11 hours and 20 minutes. Please pay close attention to the upcoming.
So then we're ready to go, and the engine start sequence is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll begin with engine numbers 1 and 2 now.
The buckle and pulling the strap to tighten. The seatbelt must be fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Please return your
Engine 1
seatbacks and
start.
tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for takeoff. Mobile phones and
3 minutes of
electronic
delay
devices
going
must
off
be set to
block,
flight
that
mode,
is absolutely
and larger
fine.
devices should be securely stowed. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are prohibited anywhere on board. Oxygen masks will drop automatically if needed. Pull the
That's
mask
10%,
firmly,
engine
place
2
it over
start.
your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Life vests are located under your seat. Put it on and inflate it only after leaving the aircraft. Floor-level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you. In case of evacuation, leave all personal belongings behind and follow crew instructions. If any electronic device becomes hot or catches fire, please inform the crew immediately. The safety information card in your seat pocket contains all details. Thank you for your attention.
So area 2 is somewhere in front over there, I think. So we definitely do have a little bit of time available for the engine start here. Or is it over here? Looks like it. Okay, pushback completed, set park and brake. Park and brake set. And we got good starts on 1 and 2, starting engines 3 and 4. Clear 3, 4. Here we go, avail. Engine 3 start. And here's 10%, engine 4 start. Quite incredible how long those engines actually take for the start process. They are CFM56 at the end of the day, and I can say that I've flown a couple CFM56s, even though under a different aircraft, on the 737, And those start a little bit quicker than those are over here. But anyway, number 4 is almost there as well. Here's the ramp agent with the clear signal. I like it. Alright, and here we go. So, trim 4.9 has basically done itself, and that's all looking fantastic. Then let's do the after start checklist. Anti-air is off, ecam status check, pitch trim 27.6%, rudder trim neutral, and that's the before taxi checklist complete. Alright, flight control track. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Lufthansa 796, request taxi.
Lufthansa 796, runway 07 center taxi via November 5, November 15, Lima 21.
Lufthansa 796 Heavy, taxi holding point runway 07 center via November 5, November 15, and Lima 21. Alright, we're clear on the left side, and we're clear on the right side. Then we can turn that light off. Parking brake released. A little bit of floodlight so that we see something down there on the pedestal. And then, let's go. Brake check. Pressure 0. So we go straight out and then off to the right hand side and then straight ahead for a very long time. Okay, clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Okay, I have no changes to the takeoff briefing. But I do have a spoiler that keeps disarming itself, okay. A little bit sensitive button on that wind wing throttle. Okay, so, taxi checklist. Flight controls checked, flaps, config 2, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine start selector, norm, ecam memo, takeoff, no blue, taxi checklist complete. Here we go, so we gotta turn next left onto Lima and Lima 17. I'm not going to bother trying to teach the AI some NOTAMs, I'll let the developers do that. I'll just taxi where we would go in the real world as well. Lufthansa 7906, request intersection Lima 17.
Lufthansa 7906, intersection L17 approved.
Intersection Lima 17 approved, Lufthansa 796, thank you. Okay, clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Just gotta hop over here. You do something decent down there. So, Lima 17 is up next, and then Tower in the real world 11978, insane tensions I think 1365 or something. Something like that. The reason why Lima 17 is currently used is because all of this is currently construction site.
Lufthansa 8908, runway 7 center taxi via November 8, Lima 21.
Runway 7 center taxi via November 8, Lima 21, Lufthansa 8908.
7 center.
Lufthansa 7906, ready for departure. And while we're on it, just a quick change here in the audio settings.
Lufthansa 7906, you are on ground frequency. Contact tower for departure clearance.
This is better, isn't it? Yeah. And if you actually gave me the tower frequency, then I would actually call them. Okay, I don't care. Then we can at least use the realistic one. Frankfurt Tower, Lufthansa 796 Heavy, ready for departure. And 18505 is pre-selected.
Lufthansa 7906, 7 radio, runway 0, wind 080 at 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 07 center, clear for takeoff, Lufthansa 7906. Those click spots on the air conditioning panel are a little hard to operate as always. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 07 center, Lima 17. TCAS, TARA, PAX 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. So the right side is clear and the left side is clear. I'm telling you honestly, turning those engines down did help. Okay, are you ready for departure?
On runway 07 center.
Takeoff. Man flex 40, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. positive climb, gear up. Nav, checked. Thrust, declimb 2, climb auto thrust.
Lufthansa 796. Identified. 2 northeast of Frankfurt at 1300 feet. QNH 1020. Climb flight level 070.
QNH 1020, climb and flight level 70, Lufthansa 798. Okay, set QNH. QNH 1020, cross-checked. Flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 1.
Lufthansa 796. Contact Langen. Radar on 120.15. Ticket budget.
12015, Lufthansa 796. Tschüss. Lang radar, schönen guten Abend. Lufthansa 796 Heavy, passing 1800, climbing flight level 70. Okay, flap 0. Speed checked, flap 0. Yeah, this is what you get when you do everything at the same time. Flying and pilot monitoring stuff. So, why is AATC not answering? Long radar, Lufthansa 796 Heavy, passing flight level, correction, passing 2700, climbing level 70.
Lufthansa 796. Langen radar identified. Good evening, Frankfurt am Main, QNH 1020.
1020, Lufthansa 796. So you will notice that with the flaps retracted, the Airbus guides us to the green dot speed and not the 250. And that's correct behavior, because it will never command to fly a speed below the characteristic speed in managed modes.
Lufthansa 796. Climb flight level 210.
Climbing flight level 210, Lufthansa 796. $21,000 blue. Checked. Autopilot 1. So the next 11 hours are going to be automated now. So I got a couple of constraints here, but they're all magenta, so none of them is a problem. I mean, they're really far out, so...
796. Speed 250.
Speed 250, Lufthansa 796. Okay, first of all, set standard. And standard is cross-check, passing flight level 53. Now, Lufthansa 796, any chance for 265 knots?
Lufthansa 796. 265 knots approved.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. Then we can maintain the configuration, otherwise we would have had to re-extend flaps 1. Doesn't really happen in the real world. If you've got a wide body where ATC knows that the clean speed may be faster than 250, then they normally approve it straight away. So, let's ask the important question. 0708, so absolutely on time. We'll disregard the fuel for the time being, we are gonna get there again. And yeah, flight level 330 is looking fantastic. Hong Kong 07 left is already in here, and yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so we will keep climbing out over here. Look at that lovely moon rising. I have a feeling this is going to be a fantastic night flight, and then the sun is going to rise.
Climb flight level 250.
Climbing flight level 250, Lufthansa 7906. Flight level 250 blue. I have a feeling that this is going to be a fantastic night flight for the first 6 hours, and thereafter fantastic daylight flight on the way over into Hong Kong, where we're going to land late in the afternoon, like 2 or 3 hours before sunset. So, beautiful times ahead. Now let's go ahead and reselect that weather radar already. You can go like 1 degree down, that's totally fine. All we are going to need. Temperatures are good, cabin is pressurizing. That must be so nice for the ears to fly an A330. I mean, well, it is to fly an A330, I can tell you that much, but also to fly an A340, because that thing doesn't climb any better. Alright then, lovely. Do we need to do anything else? No, the clock is in int already, just to avoid the GPS jamming areas.
Lufthansa 7906, speed below 250 knots.
No. Can we maintain high speed?
Lufthansa 7906, maintain current.
Good. So, passing level 100. Let's turn on some lights over here, but let's go ahead and dim them. So, lights off, signs stay on, as turbulent as it is. And yeah, I'm gonna keep the Moza on my side.
Thank you for your patience.
And you can have the airports down there. And tell you what, then you may also have the terrain, because we will be crossing quite a couple of hills. So it definitely can't hurt to have that. Alright, clear and copy.
Lufthansa 7906, climb flight level 280.
Climb on flight level 280, Lufthansa 7906. Flight level 280 blue. Okay then, my friends. For now, that's everything I gotta offer you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And then I'll see you all when we start the arrival over in Hong Kong.
Expect the ILS runway 07 left approach to Hong Kong.
Expecting the ILS 07 left via Leans Lufthansa 796 Heavy. Okay, my friends, I hope you enjoyed the flight. I hope you enjoyed the awesome views on both the European and later on the Asian continents. And well, we are now on our descent into Hong Kong and starting to set our Airbus A340 up for today's approach. So I'm basically expecting a shortcut like any moment now. I hope that we are not going to have to fly the entirety of the arrival here. But nonetheless, let me fill you in on what we are going to do exactly.
This will get you there sooner. Turn left, heading 350 vectors for the ILS runway 7 left approach.
Left heading 350, Lufthansa 796. Okay, I told you we are going to get a shortcut here. So, heading thrust idle open descent and set QNH. QNH 1018 cross check passing 14,000 now. And that's checked. Okay then, let's start talking about the arrival. We used to be on the Sierra 7 Alpha arrival, which is eventually going to lead us to Leams. Then from there we've got an ILS approach runway 07 left, and well, we are receiving radar vectors already, eventually probably towards the final directly. The approach starts at 1,500 feet at Victor Hotel 702, 3-degree glide slope down to a minimum of 230, with a go-around gradient of 6.9%. We're able to do that, but only unless an engine fails. If an engine fails, then things are getting interesting, because what they do in the real world in Hong Kong is to fly the engine out failure procedure in case of a go-around as well. Now, the only problem with that is we don't have access to it anywhere in flight simulation, so we only have older versions of the procedures that rely on VORs that no longer exist. So yeah, just gotta help ourselves there. Now let's go ahead and go into the actual approach briefing so that I can get you into the loop over here. And at the same time, let's just clear that FMS. Don't need this, don't need this. Hello? Okay, looks like there's a couple problems there. Let me insert a direct to lines, and then we can just go back into heading mode here. So heading 350. Here we go. And that puts us 3,600 feet high on profile. That's kind of what I expected here. That's just the weather. Let's have a quick look at that. Hong Kong, and that's arriving runway 07 left, 0208, visibility 10, viewing 2500, 20 degrees, 1018. So overall easy going, and then we can already put that thing away. Okay, so give me those speed brakes please, we will definitely need them now. And then let's go ahead with the approach briefing. So this is going to be radar vector ILS approach, runway 07 left, and the MSA is 4,300, the minimum is down in 230. For the go-around, we follow a couple of ANAV waypoints, climbing 5,000 feet and to an altitude, well, climbing 5,000 feet with a maximum airspeed of 230.
796, turn left, heading 295.
Left 295, Lufthansa 796. Yeah, that's probably not going to be for long, but then we can still those speed brakes again. And we're going through 100, lights, signs,
Ladies and
ethers.
gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Hong Kong. Please turn off all electronic
We've got
devices and
GPS
stow them
primary,
away until
and
we
you
arrive
should
at the
have
gate.
Hong Kong
Kindly return your
07
tray
left
tables
in
to
here
their
as
upright
well.
position. Ensure your seats are in the full upright position and fasten your seatbelts. The current weather in Hong Kong is 20 degrees Celsius with a few clouds and
Like this,
2,500
and
feet.
that's
Our
it.
assigned gate is Terminal 1
Okay then,
West of
so yeah, that's my part of the
Thank you for your
briefing.
cooperation and enjoy the rest of the
Now
flight.
for the actual approach, we are going to use flight director guidance,
Lufthansa,
config full, auto brake
796.
low.
Descend altitude 2, 500 feet. Turn right, heading 345. QNH 1017.
Descend 2,500 feet and turn right heading 345, QNH 1017, Lufthansa 796. Set QNH. 1017 cross-check, passing 8000 now. Checked. Okay, lovely. So yeah, flight director guided ILS approach, 0-7 left, flaps full, idle reverse, auto brake low, stop margin of approximately 500 meters. Vacate the runway to the right, and there's one hotspot, that's the crossing of the center runway, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions or suggestions? No? Oh, lovely then, that's our briefing complete. So let's help it a bit here. Let's get those speed brakes back out. Extend the center line, please. From 701. And radial indirect 250. Like that. Actually 253. Yeah, that's looking good. Alright, so there's Macau down here. And that means we are going to get a right-hand turn pretty soon, so that we don't fly into the Macau airspace.
Lufthansa 796. Heavy, 13 miles from Victor Hotel 701. Turn right, heading 035, descend altitude 1500 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway, 7 left approach.
Right heading 035, descending 1500, cleared ILS 07 left, Lufthansa 7906 heavy. Okay, told you this would happen. So we're 18 miles out, we're in 4000 feet, so speed brakes can absolutely come in now. And that's it. Good, so all that lovely stuff is done, so give me the approach checklist please. With power reference, QNH 1017, seatbelts on, minimum, MDA 230, auto brake low, engine start selector norm, approach checklist complete. So we're cleared in. We do not receive the glide slope just yet, but don't worry about that. And then let's reduce our rate of descent a bit here. So something like 500 feet a minute. And activate approach phase. Destination EFOP below min. Yeah, that's something we could mention here. Minus 0.1. Hong Kong weather's beautiful. Can always commit to landing in Hong Kong. If we do that, if we type in alternate 0. Okay, let's do 0.1. If it needs something like that, the real one can do 0. And you see we got 51 minutes extra. No problem. Okay, so we are receiving the ILS on both sides now. Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2, glide slope and localizer blue. Alright, so train on and D on both sides. Weather is not a factor on this approach. Those mountains over there definitely are. Well, and then we've done pretty much everything that we could do.
Shenzhen Air 9849er, climb and maintain flight level 210.
Up to flight level 210, Shenzhen Air 9849er.
So we're 11 miles out, flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1. And manual flight.
China 7549. Contact landing control on
Train noted.
325.
Lockstar.
119er decimal 325 for China Southern 549er 4. Good day.
Cathay 1905. Contact Hong Kong radar on 125.
Airfield inside.
175.
125.175 for Cathay 1905. Good day.
Lufthansa 796. Contact Hong Kong Tower on 118.7.
118.7, Lufthansa 796. Hong Kong Tower, Lufthansa 796 Heavy, established ILS 07 left.
7906, heavy Hong Kong Tower, roger. Continue approach. Lufthansa 7906, heavy, wind 020 at 8. Runway 7 left, cleared to land.
Runway 7 left, clear to land, Lufthansa 7906 heavy. Alright, gear down, well, flaps 2, plus up star, 5,000 feet set, and gear down. Flaps 3, speed check, flap 3. Flaps full. Speed check, flaps full. Landing checklist. Ecam memo, landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Alright, fully established. The wind on the ground is 020 at 8, so that's a little bit of left crosswind, but nothing significant.
1,000.
Checked.
Approaching 07 left.
Checked. I've just got to repeat again how much I like the flight dynamics of the Inibuild's A340. That fly-by-wire just feels so close to what I'm used to from the A330, and apparently the two aircraft in the real life do feel rather similar.
400.
Land. We're on the puppy hill.
300. Minimum.
Continue.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20 cars. 10, 5.
Spoilers, reverse green, decel. Manual brakes. 70 knots. Okay, 11 hours and 5. Here we are.
Lufthansa 7906, welcome to Hong Kong. Contact ground on 122.6.
122.6, and we're joining Yankee Lufthansa 796.
Hong Kong.
Okay, could you tune that for me, please?
To more skyscrapers than any other city in the world. Thank you for flying with Lufthansa. Please remain seated until we reach our final parking position.
Hong Kong ground, Lufthansa 796, request taxi to gate Sierra 42.
Lufthansa 7906, say again, please.
Lufthansa 796, request taxi to gate Sierra 42.
Lufthansa 7906, taxi to Terminal 1 Gate S42 via Yankee Foxtrot 7. Hold short of runway 25 center, then Alpha 11, Bravo, Whiskey, Hotel 7.
Lufthansa 796, taxi to Sierra 42 via Yankee Foxtrot 7, Alpha 11, Bravo, Whiskey, Hotel 7, and hold short runway 07 center. Okay. After landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. Lovely. So with that, welcome to Hong Kong. Now let's taxi in and find our parking stand. AGC North, and we're coming in via Yankee Foxtrot 7 Alpha 11 Bravo Whiskey. Okay. So left on the second taxiway, and then basically to the full length of the runway, which is the first position where we can actually cross. Alright, and we are reaching our gate, Sierra 43, right over here. Hope you didn't mind that I just accelerated the taxi a little bit, because, well, it was like 10-12 minutes of taxi, and I figure that just telling you like, oh, all of this looks awesome, as much as it does, you know,
Runway 7 right taxi via
I want
Bravo,
you to think it,
Victor
I
Hotel,
don't want
Hotel
me
6,
to
Juliet,
force it onto
Juliet
you.
1.
Runway 7 right taxi via Bravo.
Okay, looks like our docking system is actually inoperative over here, but at the time that I'm filming this, Build Hong Kong is still a press preview, so there is no proper GSX profile available for it just yet. But looking outside, I think we're pretty much in a good spot if we just go a little bit further like this. Here we go. So, APU bleed on, parking brake set, and APU bleed is... come on. Here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin crew, all doors and park. Alright, and with that, we've made it. And here we go, all engines below 20%. Bacon off. And ground power is already connected, excellent. Temperature outside is 18 degrees right now, then we can actually shut that APU down straight away. That's fine. So waiting for the cabin crew to disarm the doors. Here we go, all disarmed. And parking checklist. So, parking record trucks. Well, the brakes are in. So, no, actually this plane has a bug. If I release the brakes now, then the ground power is going to disconnect. So, parking record trucks, well, brake set, engines off, wing light off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. And with that, my friends, welcome to Hong Kong. 07:15, that means we are like half an hour ahead of schedule as planned. Used a little bit more fuel than planned, but that is nothing we could do much about right now. Well, and with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for flying along, and then I'm really looking forward to seeing you all again on the next one.